Hi tuners! Welcome to StageX Academy. In today's episode, we're going to talk about essentials for every new and experienced tuner. We will cover StageX editing options. I will explain how to use change absolute, change relative, and change by edit, useful keyboard shortcuts, interpolation, copying data to similar maps, copying differences, copying percentage, and many more. Without further ado, let's open our project in StageX. For the purpose of this episode, I have chosen EDC17C64 ECU file from the 2.0 TDI Volkswagen Golf 7. By default, each map opens in a text viewport, and we will keep that view for a moment. Let's start with the explanation of the main editing option, Change Absolute. To use it, just left-click and select the area that you want to edit, then right-click to open available editing options and pick Change Absolute. Alternatively, you can use Enter key to immediately open the Change Absolute window. The principle of this option is extremely simple. Whatever value you enter in its window will appear instantly on the map. You can always use the plus and minus keys on the keyboard to quickly lower or increase selected values. As we all make mistakes, you can always revert to the original values of the map. To do so, I'm going to use the Original Values option. Just right-click on the edited values and pick the option from the list. Alternatively, use the Ctrl-O keyboard shortcut to do it even faster. To unselect fields, just simply use the Delete key on your keyboard. Now I want to tell a bit more about the next editing option, Change Relative. Once again, I am selecting the area which I want to edit, right-click and pick the Change Relative option from the list. This one works similarly to the Change Absolute option, but instead of inserting a specific value, you insert a number by which value needs to be increased or decreased relatively to its current or the original state. If you prefer so, there is also an option to change the percentages. Next editing option that I would like to explain is the Change by Edit. As you can see, we have here the option of editing both corner values of the map and values in the middle. Entering a value in the middle field will result in applying the change to all selected fields in the first place. Changing the values in the corners will result in applying changes to the given corner and accordingly smoothing out the rest of the values in between them. When we are talking about smoothing out your map, let's talk about another useful feature, the interpolation. This option helps to smoothen the differences in your map for continuous trend and replace the selected fields with an appropriate calculation of their adjacent fields. In order to use this tool correctly, the selection needs to be rectangular and have borders on each side that are not selected. Let's set the last column of the map to the desired value, then uncheck it and mark the rest of the map fields that you want to interpolate. Now, right-click on the selected area and pick up the Interpolate option, or simply use the I key shortcut. Here you can pick options from where the interpolation is going to be calculated and determine where source values are placed. Having it set, just click the Apply button. Now, I want to talk about one of my favorites editing features, Change Similar Maps. This feature allows to copy performed modification from one map to the other maps which were identified by advanced StageX AI algorithms. It is a game changer, as now instead of manually searching and copying values to similar maps, you can use this feature and get the job done in just a few clicks. To use that feature, just right-click on the values with performed modification, then pick your preferred copy type, select suggested maps that you want to modify, and click the red Change button. As we can see, our changes are now applied to all similar maps. I am always surprised by how easy it is. When we are here, I want to do something more. Let's connect it with the Delta and the Percentage Viewports overview. Delta Viewport allows to see the difference in the modified values in relation to the original data. The Percentage Viewport is doing pretty much the same, but uses the percentages to indicate the difference. Having the differences visible, you can easily copy them to similar maps using the already discussed tool. To do so, just pick the different copying type, select maps that need to be modified in the same way, and click the red Change button. As you can see, values in the selected maps were added or subtracted according to your edit. When we are still at the copying and pasting topic, note that all absolute, delta, and percent values can be copied into any other fields or even maps by clicking copy on the value and then paste in the desired field. Of course, as usual, we have prepared a shortcut, Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V. Okay, now, when we are familiar with editing maps in the text viewport, let's talk a bit about editing in 2D and 3D. In the first place, let's open map which dimensions will allow us to open it in 3D viewport. Let's use for example driver's wish torque map. For quick searching, you can always input the keyword of the map that you are interested in into the field next to the loop icon. Thanks to that, only maps with this word in their name will be displayed. A super useful tool that can save you a lot of time compared to manual searching for maps. Editing maps in the 2D and 3D viewport is not much different from editing in the text mode. Same as before, here you can mark the parts of the map that you want to work with and use the available editing tools on them. For example, let's select this map region and change its value to 550 by using the Change Absolute option. We can always further edit this map to our needs by using the rest of the available options. Naturally, changes applied in one viewport will be also visible in the other ones. Editing in 2D works exactly the same. Just select parts of the map that you want to edit and apply changes using your preferred editing tool. Don't forget that you can also edit your file directly in the hex dump. For faster map finding in this viewport, you can also use previously mentioned loop tool. When your keyword is already inputted, just click on the map that you are interested in, and StageX will automatically transfer you to the hex dump address where this map is located. And here we are, exactly where we wanted to be. Note that when you are working on your file directly in the hex dump, you can also use mentioned previously shortcuts for better workflow. That would be it for today. See you at our next episode of StageX Academy.